Good evening from the Fun Bunch here in the office, live and in living color. And Susan Fattig is here. Welcome to her. Who else do we have online?
Jeff Blander.
And Jeff.
Hello,
welcome.
folks.
Hello.
And thank you for being here. Michael, especially, I want to thank for being here 2 nights in a row.
Good man, Michael.
So we'll get started with any, I hope Marty's there. Marty's not there. Well, let's hope maybe Jeff or Susan have some public comments. So I'm going to open up the floor to them, please. Any public comments?
My only public comment is you folks are all awesome, and it is a privilege to be part of the Fun Bunch this evening. I
Thank you, Jeff.
am anxiously awaiting what you folks are drumming up that we can talk about today.
Well, we're drumming up a lot of fun things, Jeff. One of which will take place right on your street, right down the street there on the park and in front of my house on the 4th of July. But before we get to that, let's discuss and review the celebration on the sidewalk. I didn't, and I don't think Michael did any head counts on that, but it represented as many people as I've ever seen at that event in past years. The weather was perfect. Everything was good. So I think if there's any comments on that, Jeff?
Well, I mean, I don't want to be the only commenter. I welcome others as well, but I have to say that at the time I thought I was going to stop by for a perfunctory like 20 minutes, and I ended up being there for well over 2.5 hours. It was just a truly magnificent event. And again, kudos to you all and also to the community. I think it just demonstrates the importance of getting us out there and having these in-person events. And again, you've lived up to the reputation of not only the Fun Bunch, but in many ways, you're the kind of the soul of our community to really put together these fabulous occasions. So really looking forward to many more. And I know it's not on the agenda this evening, but you know, the idea of the 40th anniversary celebration, which will probably be discussed at a future meeting. So again, just turning it back over and kudos to you all.
Thank you, Jeff.
Can I ask a question about because I was not at the celebration and I know, but I was at the planning meeting and I know there was, we were going to call around to artists and all sorts of other people, just so I'm someone who plans. So thinking about next year, what worked in that sense and what didn't. So
Yeah, so I think that's a great question. And I think this is a nice opportunity for the engagement community to debrief a little bit about what worked and what didn't work and what was positive about the sidewalk event, the sidewalk celebration. I want to start by saying thank you to Michael and Aaron for pulling so much together, and at short order you guys did an awesome job in coordinating the vendors and the tables, the chairs, and the flyers, and reaching out, doing the follow-up with the community members, the artists, and everyone. And Keith, you know, reached out to all the utility folks and local businesses, so that was really great. I think one of the things that could be improved for next year is just a clearer definition of roles at the meeting preceding the event. I think we disbanded and it wasn't really clear who was doing what. And so thank you for kind of prodding a little bit, Michael. I was very grateful that we had a wonderful list of artists from the year before. And so hopefully that's now on the master list for the next folks.
I keep a list every single year of the vendors that come. So now we have 2 years of lists, and it was slightly different, but a lot of overlap.
Great, thank you. Did you add the context to that list?
Yes.
Amazing. Thank you.
So next year should be even
So
easier.
it should be easier. The one contact I don't think we were very successful with making was the Chevy Chase Historical Society. I tried to make a last minute. I tried to reach out to Carolyn at the last minute, and I think her email has changed. So we'll try to get her contacts for
Start
next
earlier
year.
Next year. It's a good idea.
Yeah, yeah. But otherwise, we had what? We had 3 different artists who turn up, as well as all of the utility folks. We had folks from the Water Commission. They had those little tablets to distribute and those little toilet stress balls.
They
So it
were,
was pretty good.
they were good.
The ice cream truck was a hit.
Oh,
We only had WSSC. We didn't have Pepco or Washington Gas,
we did reach out to them,
but we did reach out to them.
responded.
And how to go with the popcorn machine and finding people to, because we should remember if it was difficult.
Yeah, that's one of the things I could do a better job of assigning to someone else. Because if I'm there running a popcorn machine,
shouldn't do
when I'm running around talking to people and answering questions and stuff. So that didn't work that well. There was a line of kids lining up for popcorn. So I made one batch and it was gone immediately. And then the second batch I started making and then got called away and it of course burnt, which I didn't know you could burn in those popcorn machines, but I managed to burn the popcorn for the second batch. So then I just waited on a third batch until everyone was gone. And then I kind of made a batch at the very end for a couple of the volunteers that stayed and helped cleaned up. So that was a nice little thing to have. But it would be easy enough to assign someone to it. And also I would say put it off. If we're going to do popcorn again, do it off to the side, not right in the middle, because the kids are going to like bombard that table.
Maybe if we did it even a month ahead and we said we wanted a kid to volunteer and rally other kids that could manage it, since it's mostly serving kids.
Andrew,
Sure. Yeah. It wasn't it's not that big of a lift. It was only $100 or something like that for it. So it does seem worth it, but it's a nice little thing. But
Yeah,
you should
for
manage
sure.
it.
Sounds
And
great.
when we get to talking about the 4th of July event, I do agree with you, Yasmina, that we should probably have more defined roles of who's doing what and when from the committee, including there's supposed to be for the 4th of July vendor for the water slides. There's supposed to be a volunteer standing by each of those slides, making sure they're, kids are lining up nicely and those types of things. They do have several staff members there that know how the machines work and those types of things, but we could do a better job of making sure we have someone from the committee kind of at each of the stations.
That's a great idea. Hey, we shouldn't forget that we had somebody come from the public library to the
And
event
that was
today.
pretty last minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, Phil, who I guess
Phil?
couldn't make it tonight, reached out to them and they turned around and they were great. They were talking everybody up and talking
she
about their
was great.
programming.
Yeah.
Good, so that would be a good one.
Street captains, Paul, thank you for coordinating them. They were amazing. They got the
Great.
word out. I think every street got noticed, right?
Almost.
well, almost.
Almost.
I think that guy in Brookville was letting the side down.
No, someone, at least one person reached out to us and said they didn't think they could do it. Another person said they, want to step down as street captain, so this would be their last act, and I don't think they ever did their street. And then there was also a little bit of misunderstanding between the election committee and the community engagement committee about the original flyer that I made for you all was really only mentioned the community engagement committee. And the election committee definitely felt like they wanted to have at least a line on there, if not a full paragraph explaining how to bring your assigned ballot and that type of thing.
They were the main act.
Right. The election's super important. So we got to we were kind of last minute making some changes. So it definitely got out later this year. And Keith did an amazing job of covering, I think, 5 of the streets or something. So
One of the street captains, excuse me, Paul, you want to say something?
Go ahead, Keith.
One of the street captains on Quincy Street said he couldn't do it, so I went up there to do it. And I handed it to this guy and he took it and he thanked me. And then he sent me an email that he was the street captain and he just didn't have the heart to tell me that it was him there. That he never actually went anywhere.
But we have invited the street captains to the volunteer party, right?
That is correct. The
So maybe we can sit down with them and have a week, because we've never really gotten together formally as a group and had a conversation about.
I think it will be really nice to include them more and bring them involved and get them all on the same page and make them all feel like they know me and they can call me whenever if they
Yeah.
need something. And some of them are really good and just come by to pick up the flyers and chat us up. But sometimes the other ones I feel like don't really know what's going on and aren't, if you're not checking your emails every day, you probably don't even know that these events are coming up.
Yeah.
So
Paul, I'm gonna say this right now so everybody can hear it. I'm not gonna be there at that. I will not be there. I have a very important church commitment. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna delegate Paul McGowan to, and I gotta be there because most of them are women counting on me, Paul.
Of course you do.
So I will not be there on that Saturday because what I'm doing is exactly between 4 and 6 p.m.
So are you saying, Keith,
30th.
I can just don a gray sweatshirt and put a Keith Allen badge on and
No, I
Don't
think
forget
to
the
be
mask.
you? And the mask, nobody will know the
a little
difference.
more than that.
We have the same hair.
Just have it cut a little bit.
You're a lot better looking, Paul. That's why I wear the
See,
mask.
I think, excuse me, Susan and Yasmina, I think Keith is fishing for compliments here. This is where you say, no, Keith, you're way better looking than him.
All right,
You're
Well,
both good.
moving right along, Michael.
So, Keith, I have a question about that. Are you saying you're not going to be able to make it to the volunteer appreciation event the council
Oh,
is
not
throwing
the
for,
30th.
but the June 30th event you're going to be at?
Oh, of course.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I thought it was.
Now, if that was on a Sunday, it's
So the
never been,
volunteer appreciation event. is
never been
something
on a
that
Saturday
the council's
before.
Doing for volunteers, just for their.
but
records.
I'm designating Paul right now. Put that on the
Oh,
record.
well,
that
that's
he
on
will-
a Saturday?
Yes,
The volunteer appreciation
That's
event?
correct. Yeah.
between 4 and 6
Yeah,
p.m.
June 22. I remember the date. I didn't just check the
That's-
day.
I'll have a beer for you, Paul.
I appreciate it.
He's gonna hold you to it.
And the street captains will.
Then you know you'll be there, right? Right.
That should hopefully get the street captains more involved too. So that's good.
Good.
Sorry, I didn't mean to sidetrack us from.
No, I was the one that sidetracked it. Yasmina, you brought up some really good points on this, on what should we do going forward, pertaining to.
Flyers earlier and.
Flyers earlier,
Especially as a
clearer
joint effort.
roles, and then definitely somebody for popcorn.
One of the House of Delegates persons, he showed up, and I'd asked him personally. You know who I'm talking about, the gentleman that's a little bit,
Aaron Kaufman.
Aaron.
And
has some-
another gentleman was there as well.
Yeah, I was very pleased with that because I hadn't reached out.
Nice that Aaron came.
Aaron is great.
Also, you said the library, we want to get that done. That was good.
Yep.
A good addition.
Do we know how many people came out to vote, like to drop off their ballots? How many people came out to
I
vote?
think the
in
election
person?
committee said I think it was in the 70s.
Oh, That's a lot.
That's good.
Dropped off their ballots there.
That's a lot.
And 213 people, that came out today, 213 people voted in total.
So
How big is the electorate?
I think the voter roll this year was, I don't have it memorized. Let me not misquote something I don't remember. 500, 600 people?
Okay.
600. Let's say 600.
So only a third voted.
And a third voted, yeah. It was an uncontested election.
Yeah, that's true. I know my husband was like, I'm not gonna pack 3 boxes and mail it in.
Participating in local democracy is very
I
important,
know.
no matter what.
Yeah.
Congrats to Jeff Blander. He got more votes and anybody, congrats, Jeff. You're still on listing. No better person could get them.
And
That's for sure.
congratulations.
Of course, I'm listening, and I have my WSSC the toilet squishy thing in my hand that was mentioned earlier. One of the greatest pieces of bling at a sidewalk event I've ever seen.
And Susan's on as well, right?
Susan?
Congratulations on getting reelected too.
Is she there?
She's there. Maybe she's on, yeah.
Anyway.
That's why it was, unanimous and there was nobody else opposing because they do such a great job, Susan and Jeff and Of course, Arthur, yes.
Thank you.
So, you're welcome, Susan. If, we've covered everything on that, we can move on. If we've covered the, postmortem on the celebration on the sidewalk. Okay, let's discuss plans for the 4th of July celebration on Sunday, June 30th.
As of today, we have the permit for the park. I paid the county to use the park all day on June 30th. And I have the list of vendors from last year. And we've already confirmed with the water slide company, that's the biggest vendor. And that, just so you all are kind of aware of the money involved in this, this event costs us about $15,000. So this is our biggest event of the year. The water slide company, and all of their setups and generators and everything like that, is about $6,000 this year, which is more than last year, but we're totally fine. The council did, raise the budget for the community engagement committee. They did so last year, and they did again for this next year. It's a little odd because this event happens on June 30th, which is still in this fiscal year. So we're actually having the second 4th of July party of fiscal year 24.
Of course, yeah.
So, but no problem. I already spoke to the accountant about how to make that work and make that make sense.
Maneuver that, yeah.
Because yeah, that's how accounting works, I guess. But that's totally fine. So they're already secured. That's the biggest thing. So the real questions for the remaining vendors are, which food trucks do we want? We've reached out and gotten a couple estimates from some companies that we've mentioned before. And of course, we want the ice cream truck back. I think everyone loves the ice cream truck. Last year's 4th of July party, if you remember, was the hottest day of the year, I think. We were all dying. So we'll make sure to have extra ice and waters and those types of things. But the ice cream truck did very well last year. So
I don't know. I only go for like 15 minutes because I don't have any young kids. But I remember having a very good hot dog though. Was that there?
That was probably there. Yeah, we had some barbecue last year. Jeff, you have your hand raised?
I do. I want to know if by popular demand, are we having the dunk tank back
Oh,
again?
yeah. You were the star of that, as I recall.
Yes.
I thoroughly enjoyed, and I'm trying to think if it was Keith's. Was it Keith? Was it one of your sons that the first try they knocked me in? Someone. I wasn't up for more than about 1 second, and then boom, I went right in.
I wasn't in accord with that, but they went ahead and did it anyway. I'm sure Rosie enjoyed it.
Michelle might have enjoyed it more than Rosie, but yes.
We have a slip and slide, water slide, and dunk tank, all from that company, providing all the generators, staff.
Well, that's great value for $6,000. Actually, that's
everything.
fantastic.
And a couple other, I think they'll have a couple other games as well as, potential add-ons. They're also the company that's providing the tables. So they'll provide all the setups for the tables. And
I'm going to, Michael, we talked about this. I'm going to talk to maybe the fire department over here on Connecticut Avenue this year. I've used Bethesda because of my personal contact over there with the fire chief. But since he has retired, and we've got people here in Martin's Additions that are on the fire board for Company 7.
that's great.
And I want to start talking to them very soon, right around the 1st of June, about making sure that they can bring some equipment over.
Yeah, so we've lost the personal connection there, but we still do have 3 members of the fire board in the village right now. The council appointed the 3rd person just a couple months ago.
And I'd like to talk to them about reaching out, since I don't know anybody over there.
Yeah, it'd be good to come from them too, to make official requests through them. That's great. I can make that introduction between you and those 3, and we can all have a conversation.
I'd like that.
So do we have decisions to make about the food truck or food trucks or?
Yes. Oh, the Slip and Slide company will also be providing tables and chairs, and also will be providing the DJ. Remember the DJ last year was a great hit and brought hula hoops for the little kids and stuff. So that's
Also
one.
make sure the DJ has a microphone, a PA system.
Yes. That was quite the hassle setting up, so we'll work on that as well. Hopefully it's the same person. They kind of know what the
Let's do.
situation is now.
Yeah.
Didn't we have a connection issue for
Yes.
the Halloween event
The connection with what, the electricity?
with the electricity?
We did. We had some issues there. I provided the
We ended
cord,
up plugging it
but
in.
there was more to that than I had been told.
Mhm.
They were not prepared. So that we want to make sure works.
Okay, I'll add a note to the
Mhm.
contract.
Thank you.
Bring your own generators and your own cords and your own hookups for everybody. We do not
Okay.
have water. We're running from off site anyways, but electricity is difficult. So
Well, this goes on the record that my home is open to anybody for electric, for water, or for restroom facilities. I've got 2 of them in there, and we'll take care of anybody that has any needs.
Thank you, Keith.
very
I
nice.
thought also what worked really nicely during the Halloween event was having some distance between those facilities and then the food trucks. So we say up a little differently. We had the food trucks a little up.
yeah, we have
road.
the food trucks by in front of the house, in front of Keith's house,
Yeah.
like towards the sidewalk, and then that left the whole cul-de-sac kind of open for people mingling and talking and stuff. Especially if there's been rain or if the water starts running off of the basketball courts, it starts running down that creek there. And
Gets
then it
very
gets
wet.
kind of gets pretty muddy down there. So if we can keep people off of the muddy area, either on the field or in the cul-de-sac itself, that's helpful.
And then I mean, if I can just use the Halloween event as an example, recognizing the lines at the food truck for the Halloween, we had the pizza on the side as
That was
just
the
kind of
Halloween
a,
event, you're right.
yeah, that was Halloween as a diversion. So if we're only going to have one food truck, we should think about that, whether we need to have one other thing to try and ease those long
It sounds like
lines.
we should have 2 because the pizza was really great.
The kids love pizza.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, maybe I can jump ahead to I have 2 estimates from 2 companies. One is Rockland's Barbecue for their food truck. That's been mentioned at your meetings before. And they have quite a few offerings there. And then I also went ahead and took the initiative to get a estimate from Timber Pizza. And they bring out a trailer and actually cook like pizzas right there on site.
Oh, yeah.
So I thought,
How fast though?
if we're doing one truck, we could just do a barbecue and then order pizzas like we did
No hot
at
dogs?
the event.
It
They
is
have-
the 4th of July.
The barbecue truck does have comes with hot dogs and mac and cheese and baked beans.
What
I
are
mean,
the-
those
what
are
are the
great
quotes, Michael?
ideas, but can they serve how many people are we going to get? And can they serve those people?
Both
in
my
a short-
estimates are for 200 people.
Yeah.
We are
We're easily going to get.
And
Yeah, like-
how long does it take them to prepare for 100 people each?
Yeah, the Rocklands I know is fast because I've seen them at events, but,
yeah, these are both
but
like
pizzas
event.
with
Yeah.
the
Setup
machine.
trucks.
Rocklands they can set that. They don't even need a truck. They
And
can
Timber
say
Pizza
all
said
up.
they will come and set up like an hour and a half before and get the whole operation.
But you're
going.
saying we can't do both as one or the other?
We could totally do both. Yeah.
Let's do both.
It's good for vegetarians as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you can't just have
Excellent.
barbecue.
The barbecue does have some vegetarian offers. I'm not sure exactly what.
Mac
those
and
would be.
cheese. And then there's,
Potato salad and
Corn on the cob.
vegetarian meal. Something with mushrooms.
So we're agreed, we're just going to do both. We'll just ask both to show
Do
up and
both.
that's it.
Should we do both for a full 200 or should we maybe lower that down to 150 each and have, 300
Yeah,
full meals?
yeah,
That's a better idea.
for sure.
And that'll
Good thing.
that'll save us a little
Good
bit.
thinking.
Excellent.
And then we'll handle the drinks again. We'll order a bunch of sodas and fill up
Did
the coolers
somebody
with ice.
say, did somebody say drinks? So it's verboten to have any alcohol. We're not gonna- we can't do beer? Well, if we're not going to do beer, can we just, on the communication, can we tell everybody,
It's BYOB.
this is we're now a dry community. If you want to have alcohol, you have to bring it yourself.
are you allowed to bring? You allowed to have
Well,
alcohol in the park?
Well, just don't tell us. Michael and I are both in
didn't know
accord
you
with,
You
I mean, is this a village policy or is it?
Now, this is,
Ethan
we
Michael
changed that.
Is it
policy?
legal? Is it a legal thing or?
Well, it's not exactly a legal thing. There is a way to get a permit and to set it up to do it. I do have some concerns though. This being like kid events and.
But
who's
I've been doing
responsible for that
this
and-
event, for decades.
With alcohol.
And there's been problems, big
Oh,
problems.
there have?
Oh, yes. And some of it we had to do with my kids right there in the property. I don't like the idea. Michael and I are,
Well, no, look, that's totally fine. Nope, we should just let everybody know because of logistics, we can't do beer, but everybody is welcome to bring their own personal cooler to
That's-
share.
that's right.
And then the people that want to have a beer will bring a beer and share it.
So you're
I'll
allowed,
have like
I
5
just
cool-
remember from,
I-
I didn't think you could drink in public.
I think we
locations.
should say this is a children's event. If you want to have if you want to bring alcohol for yourself or to share, bring your own and
Doesn't set a
and
good
be
example.
responsible
You'll
for
be
it.
responsible for it.
And not necessarily encourage coolers because coolers and
Can
teenagers.
conceal it.
And maybe, I think
Yeah,
some of the drinks.
I mean,
Okay.
You get the hint when, maybe what we can do is we've been pretty consistent since I've been here. Like I've never bought an alcohol with village money. So that's other than the La Ferme events. So when they have a liquor
No,
license and those types of things.
no.
But maybe if we just list like what we are providing,
Yeah,
Yeah.
you
it'll
can
be
just say
clear
no
that we're
alcohol
not
provided.
providing.
Yeah, alcohol.
that's a good idea.
Or we
Yeah,
can
and
say no
but I think
alcohol.
to your point, Yasmina, emphasize this is a kids event. This is a kids and family event,
Kids friendly.
kid-friendly
Kid
event.
friendly.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. And hopefully I know there's some there's this rumbling that you're sharing is not just you. I've definitely heard it from a lot of other residents that are familiar with how things were when other people were managers, but I don't know, my watch.
We don't need to go there. We're going with Michael. How old are your children?
They're old enough to be legal.
Funny story, and I don't
Really
care if it's on the
funny.
record, my daughter's 20, and I asked her to go to Magruder's with her false ID from College Park to buy me beer, and she's like, Dad,
No.
Magruder's does not take false IDs.
There's a wall
I'll
of
go, I'll get you
shame
beer
in
in College
Magruder's.
Park, but not in Magruder's.
There's a wall of shame,
Yeah, no, I know that, exactly.
and my kids know all of them.
Okay, well, back on topic.
Okay, yes, yes.
Yeah, my guys had that false ID too.
Oh, everybody did. I had one, my
But they
kids
still
had
sell-
them, but.
yeah. But Magruder still sells Natural Light, which nobody in Chevy Chase drinks.
Natty Light, my son would.
Yeah, no, nobody, excuse me, nobody over
Over.
18 drinks that.
Or over
That's the
21.
point, yeah. Sorry, we are digressing, Michael, we're
Yeah,
having too
beers,
much
come
fun.
on. Yes, so and the other vendors, we also have face painting. We're gonna reach out
That
to
was-
them
that
again.
was
We haven't done that yet. But that's on our list to do this week. And where's my list? This is the list of vendors we had last year. We actually ended up having 2 ice cream trucks last year because the ice cream trucks that we normally use didn't have a shaved ice machine. So we brought in the shaved ice machine. The ice cream truck we use now they have their nice ice cream truck that they brought to the election celebration on the sidewalk event that has ice machines as well as ice cream bars. So I think we can just use the
Can
one
they
truck.
handle the quantity of people?
Totally, yeah. And they have been doing our events, and there was a line this last time, and we can tell them, bring your
Extra help?
full crew.
Yeah.
So yeah, and we know them well. I mean, I'm texting with them at this point, so
That's good. Now,
that seems fine.
in the past, we have in big presidential years, we've had local state representatives.
Yeah, so that's what I didn't
we-
come up with is a list of other invites, the fire department being one of them that I wrote down. Yeah, I definitely think we would want to invite everybody again, or if there's a list that you all want to come up with of people that we should
Mhm,
invite,
mhm.
that would actually be helpful. That way I'm not trying to track down all of their contact information.
We could just look at the ballot, right?
Mhm, mhm,
I
mhm.
don't know if they'll come because there's probably a lot of competing events.
We can see, we just need to be clear about who's going to reach out to who, so it doesn't fall through the cracks. So,
If we want to separate it that way, you know, I can take care of all the vendors that are requiring money. And
Thank you.
then if you all want to come up with that list and do that outreach, happy to share contact information if I have it or help. Does that work?
Are you familiar with Anna Gutierrez? Anna Gutierrez? Okay,
she's retired.
she is, but she would find these people for me because she's told me she would. And I see her all the time.
Do you want to
I'm gonna
get
reach
the
out to
list?
her.
Okay.
I'm gonna definitely do that. So that's covered. That's taken
Great.
care of.
Okay.
And then maybe you're gonna get to this, because we kind of started there on this other discussion, but, so it sounds like, how many people have to work all this? Like, it sounds like you need, because this committee is not that big, so how do you get more people?
Well, all of these people that are coming, all these vendors that are coming, bring their own staff, their own
Right.
crews.
So
So
you
they all
just
run
need
their
the-
own thing.
2 slides in the dunk tank?
2 slides dunk tank will be, we need volunteer
Right,
people sitting at. So those 3 spots are really the only spot we
Oh.
need.
Okay, so that's
Um,
not too bad.
And like the tables get set up for us and tear
Okay.
down for us. We'll bring out the trash cans. And then me and the assistant village manager, Aaron, we'll bring the sodas and set up the coolers.
So you
and
really
stuff.
need 3 volunteers.
So 3 volunteers, and then if you all want to like have a table in the front where you're greeting people or something, then I would say if you're not working one of the volunteer stations, kind of hang out at that table or something like that. We'll have name tags for you all.
So welcome table and 3. And how many people are on the committee?
5.
5.
The only 3 are here.
No, I know, but that's not that, you need 4. And how long's the event?
So, well, we need 3 volunteers. We
It's
don't
3.
usually have a table. I mean, honestly, I don't
that's
think the table is,
Yeah, You could just
it's
have a
much
sticker and
nicer
walk
to
around. Okay.
circulate around.
Okay.
So
And
we
it's-
need
the
3
event's 2 to
volunteers,
5.
2 to 5, but we probably need more than 3 because people should be able to.
Not have to spend 3 hours.
I think everyone, it would be nice if everyone on the committee, if people are going to be able to make it, that everyone should take a turn volunteering.
Yeah, for sure.
And maybe we can reach out to the street captains and see if,
That's a
we
great
can get
idea.
some extra help.
Mhm.
We can give them a beer during the volunteer
You
event.
sure can.
And,
Oh, at
this
the
is at the volunteer
yes.
event, and then try and,
See
get
if you
them
can
to
Yeah,
get
let's,
volunteer.
winter
let's
volunteer
rope them into that at the volunteer event for sure. Let's do
Yeah.
that.
enough in advance.
Yeah.
you're
Get
good
it
at
before
that.
that.
Okay, so
We just need a firm commitment.
No, that's a good idea. Yeah, because only a week before, so that'll be great. That's good timing.
Okay.
perfect.
That's great. You can even come up with a little schedule.
Yeah, and they can sign up for a slot, and then we could fill in where they're.
30 minutes at the dunk tank.
Oh, I was gonna say an hour each.
You know what?
You'll never get it. You're
I'm
too much.
gonna make this really formal and I'm gonna do a sign up genius.
Amazing.
Because
Tell me
because
how
unless
this-
people commit, we never know if they're gonna turn up,
And
so
so you'll have it at the volunteer event. and they
I'll
can-
have,
And it's-
Computer?
if I'm really sophisticated, I'll have a QR code. Most likely I
No,
won't.
that's-
And also just, it's not
That's
mandatory that these volunteers are there. So if there's a slot that's open, it's totally fine. It's not a
Okay.
big deal. Yeah.
Cool. Okay.
It is a nice touch, but it's honest.
Chevy Chase at home, could we have a table for them? Would they be any
So we've
agreeable?
never done like tabling events at this thing, like informational booths or anything like that. It's always been vendors providing services to kids or food or those types of things.
Did they come to this?
They have in the past, but they didn't come to, and we had talked about them coming. They weren't here, or were they
They were
here?
here.
They
They
were
were here.
Chevy Chase at home was
Yep.
here? Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, they were
That
here.
seems
Their
like a
executive
place.
director came
I-
to talk to me and they had a table.
I just like to include them. It's a wonderful organization.
Yeah, I think, the sidewalk celebration is the perfect venue for that.
Yeah.
Kind of
And
thing.
they've come actually to the farmer's market a few times, because I've signed up with them actually
Yeah.
through that.
And Manna, we had, Linda came to represent Manna. We forgot to mention that.
At the celebration on Sunday. Yeah.
Linda Kirsten.
Well, if that would be fun at the 4th of July, maybe you'll think it doesn't belong to 4th of July, is everybody bring a can. Throw it in the bin, if
Food
she
drive.
wanted to do it.
We could do it. I mean, I think it's always nice.
Because you've got so
to
many
do
people
that.
coming.
It's a great
and
idea.
Kids like that, kids,
Yeah, way to give back.
That's a really good idea.
We could
easy
even,
enough.
that's something to put at the table. a big box that says, donate food.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Okay,
And we should put it on the flyer though.
it
because if
should
we
go on
don't,
the flyer.
Yeah, come
put it
with
on
a
the flyer,
can.
then
Yeah,
no one knows to bring, so.
Done.
good
but we'd
idea.
have to coordinate with the person who does the manna, right? 'Cause
Yeah,
she doesn't have to be there, but we have to
I
get it to
can,
her.
she's in the Linda's in the directory,
Absolutely.
right? I'll reach
And
out to
and
her.
I can help with this.
Okay, thank you.
I see her every day. I'll talk to her.
Does she live on your street?
Every morning at 4:30 in the morning, I take her newspaper and I bring it up and put it right at her
Okay.
door. I've been doing that for
You are
years.
following up officially.
Wow.
So, and then I saw
Remember
her.
to put it on the
4:30, that's when I'm going to bed,
Yeah.
Keith.
flyer. Yeah, 4:30.
That's when I'm getting started like at 2:33 in the morning. But when the guy comes with the paper, I'm there to take it, put it up on Linda, even though she doesn't pick it up till about 10 o'clock. But whenever she has a problem, and I had to call the 911 a few months ago because she
Oh my
took
gosh.
ill in the middle of the night. And when her husband had cancer, he'd call and I'd go with the boys and pick him up. So I'm very familiar with Linda, and I'm going to be there to help her with anything I can. And what
Thank
she
you.
does and what she did with her husband, it was a wonderful thing, and still is with the food,
So she's
with
the,
Manna,
she's
the
the
Manna
Manna.
program,
She's been running it for many, many years.
couple
now.
of decades.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which is amazing.
Does she need
She's,
helpers?
She has helper
I bet
helpers.
she does.
She does have a helper or two from the community, and we do support her and like post her in the newsletter all the time
No, I
and,
meant like-
and help the box move the boxing. in-
Exactly,
in and out of
getting
our-
You should meet Linda. She's a really lovely
Absolutely.
person.
But an
What's her last
incredible
name?
service.
You need to meet her.
Hirsch?
Kirsch?
Kirshnen,
Kirsch,
KRSHHTEN.
man.
They were both, he was a journalist and so was she. That's how they met. All right, so I'd like to, if we've still got anybody online here with us, Mike, I'd like to get their comments if they might have them, Susan and Jeff.
Before we go there, I just wanted to, just one more thing about the 4th of July. What is our plan for cleanup? Because we do have a cleanup plan for movie nights, right? That Michael's getting very eagerly prepared for, involving little hands.
I'm the cleanup man, and I get my
Do we
guys
want to
to
do
help me.
something similar for 4th of July? Or do we think the kids are going to be too sugared up and crazy?
Oh, they're all.
No,
gonna
I've
go
got
in.
one of those in the car. Michael's got me cleaning up the village now. Every Friday I go out,
Plan right here.
yeah, every Friday I go out
You're
and,
going to have multiple of those hands, right?
yeah, that works great, Mike.
And Keith and I have been walking around on Fridays picking up trash. So
Yes, but there
You
should,
wanna
we should
join
be
us.
educating
I'm gonna
about
be ready.
why they're dropping trash.
So do we want to do something similar for the 4th of July? It may be hard because it's on a Sunday, or are we just going to save that for the movie nights?
save that for the movie nights.
Okay, thank you. And now over to the committee.
Thank you. Any comments? Who's there online? Is Jeff still there? How about Susan?
Jeff and Susan. Jeff has his hand up.
Jeff? Please.
Hello. So thank you. First of all, again, another fabulous meeting. You folks really know how to get your business done and have fun along the way. But I'm communicating first or secondhand direct feedback from consumers. This includes Rosie and Michelle. They shared two things. Rosie said, and Michael, no pressure on you, said definitely need really, really, really fun slip and slide and bouncy houses if you do a bouncy house. And the other thing was the balloon vendor. The suggestion was that they seem to, for whatever reasons, Oh, wait, here's Mel. She's speaking. Can you hear?
Yes.
Oh, wait.
Michelle.
Here's
we
Michelle
hear you.
talking.
Hi.
Hi, Michelle.
Hi. Hi. Sorry, I can't see who I'm speaking with even, but hopefully this will save time. So my observation at every event I've been to with balloon vendors with kids is, they're only paid until the end of the event or until a certain time. And what typically happens is there's always a line of kids at the end. And the balloon person says, "Oh, I'm sorry, we don't have it. I have to go." And so if there's a way to just pay the person like an extra 15 or 20 minutes to kind of not, with the hope that that will mitigate that issue, I think it will make it a happier event for a lot of little kids. That's just my 2 cents. I don't know if that
That's
means.
a great point. That's a great point.
You're right on,
Thank you,
Michelle.
Michelle, for sharing that.
Yeah, they just they're going for their mommy daughter walk, but both Michelle and Rosie were adamant about that. I think it's happened. They saw it happen to a bunch of kids and unintentionally, but maybe it's because they're so busy with everything else they finally decide to go over. So yeah. Anyway, over.
Assure them it will not happen again, Jeff.
But you guys have to decide when the line stops, because otherwise your event will go in another hour.
It could be,
Maybe
yes.
everyone who's still in line when the time ended,
Right,
we'll finish
right.
them up.
Like maybe
And
make a quick last call or something like that. Yeah.
Very good. Thank you, Jeff and Michelle. Susan.
I think you guys have done a great job of staying pretty much on the agenda, which is awesome. And I think we're gonna I mean, the fun committee does digress, but I think this 4th of July celebration promises to be one of our best, especially since it's the second in the fiscal year. It's like a blue moon, twice in one period. So
It's always best when you're there too, Susan.
well, thank you, Keith.
And you always are, and you always help us clean up and pick up, and thank you.
I was thinking Yasmina and I need to coordinate the cleanup. I think we were there at the end last year. That was Halloween, actually.
That was
Yeah.
Halloween. I know. I know. And Phil was there too, cleaning up.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, Phil is great. Do you think anything else needs to be addressed, Mike?
I don't think so. Sounds like we.
I
have
think
assignment-
we're ready for this.
Sounds like we have assignments. Yeah, we definitely got started earlier with the permit and a couple of the big vendors.
We're
So
ready. We're ready.
now our next step is just to get the flyers ready. We'll have it in the newsletter. We'll have, all of that stuff. And then once that's ready, I'll have it early. I'll have it ready for you all to.
What do you guys do if if it rains? So you never think of doing a Saturday with a Sunday rain date? You just.
All the vendors want to charge you twice if you try to reserve 2 dates at that. For this event, it doesn't really work. It doesn't really work.
So it's just raining
also
and people go, don't go.
Usually,
You've done
you
it.
would not have, you might have a quick downpour. You don't have what would be classified in my business, in the meteorological business, as a washout.
Mhm.
Usually it's a few showers here and there, or they don't come until the late afternoon. And that shouldn't be a problem. Plus the fact, I'm in charge of that. I've put in the order already to
Yeah.
the
Studied
higher
the
authority.
Alamac.
Last year he went too far and we got 100-degree super.
Too
Okay, I'm
far
counting on
last year.
Just tone it down a little bit.
I had a lot of smelling salts that I was carrying. A lot of ammonia capsules.
And I'm from Seattle. I love a little rain. If you can bring in a little rain, that's fine.
Bring it on with Mike.
That won't stop me.
Right. Okay, well, I think that what we can do now is before we
We've got to
call
talk
things
about the
off
movie
here is talk
nights.
about the movie nights. And that's very important and they were very successful last August and September. And I'm really happy that we decided to do 2. Everybody loved that. There was a snafu that Michael remembers with the
Yeah.
sound equipment, with the tape, the
Generator.
the generator, yes. But we're going to make sure that doesn't happen this year. But it actually worked out for us much better because they had an event down at Candy Cane City that would have taken people away from our event that particular evening, that Saturday evening. So that actually worked out in our in
So
our
the
favor.
dates are August 4th and September 1st.
Mhm.
We have planned to do cleanup volunteer days the next day so we can recruit all the kids. If you're here running around throwing candy wrappers, we'll expect to see you tomorrow morning.
Yeah,
Yeah, and we'll have a little prize for them, right? There's
Well,
gonna
all
be
the
an
kids have-
incentive.
all the
Maybe-
kids have been very cooperative,
Candy?
Yasmina.
All the leftover sodas.
Yeah.
Great.
Leftover
Yeah,
sodas.
the
that's a
kids have
good
been
idea.
very good,
Yeah,
all the children.
and
Yeah.
I think we should, I mean, I think it would be really nice if we could, maybe, it's too bad Paula's not here, but if we could coordinate something with Paula and do a little, have a little environmental kind of tag on to these events, that would be really nice. Like, you know, maybe a little quiz or a little, you know, some kind of game that the kids could do over the summer and hand in at movie night. Might be really nice, you know.
Will
a
you
little
talk to
education.
Paula about that?
I'll follow up with Paula.
I'll talk to Paula too.
Yeah, she really wants to do something related to the environment and protection of trees in the village, and I think that's a great idea. And the kids are going to be on break. They may, you know, let's test it. Let's see if there's any
She
interest
should
in
do
the
something about
village.
the cicadas.
Yeah, yeah.
That's a great
I don't
idea.
remember when they come out, but
Be really fun one day to have
was
a
3
giant
years ago.
scavenger
Yeah, but
hunt
this
in
happening
the
again.
village.
They're coming out, but not to the degree that they came up. A little less, but that'll be interesting to see. Yeah, that's a good idea, Yasmina.
So the dates for the movie nights are August 4th and September 1st.
Mhm.
Those are already booked. And last year at least, we did a little poll about which movie we wanted people to vote on, which one they wanted to see.
Mhm.
And we got a ton of recommendations as well. So we could go back and reuse that same list
Yeah,
and,
For sure,
and also
yeah.
solicit additional, you know, movies if people want.
great.
It did seem like the movies that were kind of geared more towards the adults actually brought out more people,
Mhm.
including kids. So it didn't seem like the
Have you put The Princess Bride on there? That's always like a huge popular one for parents and kids.
I love it, Princess Bride.
I like that one.
I mean, right?
Yeah, I
It's the
wanna go
one
to
that
movie night.
parents will go
Yeah,
to with
yeah,
their kids.
that's
'cause
good.
Everyone laughs at.
I will add it to the list. So I think that's it. Yeah.
Let's just see if there are any public comments here. If we got anybody left out there. I'm surprised we've only got a couple of people here, but who could you ask for better than the two council members that racked up so many votes and are so popular? It was Susan and Jeff. Any final thoughts from you guys?
This is
Jeff?
Jeff. The only thing I
Yes.
want to share is, Keith, I know you appreciate this, but I got the 4 rescue cats here and they're all incredibly enamored by this entire committee. They are just here avidly listening to you all. And I think they're really excited about what you're planning.
Well, then I know it's a good plan.
Is this an adoption
Yeah.
plea or just a comment?
No. Jeff has brought these cats from a shelter that he volunteers at, and they're beautiful.
Oh, nice.
You can drive by his house and see them there in the windows. He doesn't let them outside like I do my cat, although I have a special cat fence in. So let me just tell you, this is completely
Digression.
not
We have 3 minutes.
germane to what we're talking about here. But last night, my Gracie, Jeff, listen to this. She's caught in the last 2 days, she's caught 3 little bunny rabbits.
Oh, no.
And the Bolins next door, she didn't hurt them. She just brought them, one of them she brought into my bed and
Oh.
presented it. But I was able to give
They're
them,
still alive?
oh yes, I gave them to the Bolins and they're gonna take good care of them because that's where the rabbit hutch is over there in their yard and where Mother Rabbit is. And last night, in between the catching of the rabbits, this was 3:00 in the morning. I hear a little bit of commotion in the yard and I go out there and the biggest raccoon that I've ever seen was in my St. Francis garden. I mean, he was huge. And my Gracie was right up there next to him, almost nose to nose, literally. And he got out. I don't know how he did because he weighed a ton, but and I've got a fence in there that is supposed to, not allow any breach of anything
Like,
getting.
sort of, Alabama federal prison security levels you have back there.
But the raccoon breached.
Right.
Oh my
But,
gosh. I don't let my cat out at night. 'cause
Did you
I'm
hear
afraid.
that, Jeff? I just started letting Gracie out at night. I'd always kept her in, but I said, oh, what the heck? And so there you go.
We always bring our cat in, and one night she wasn't in, and then we hear the screeching, and I'm like, oh my
That's the
God.
fox.
It's the fox, exactly. But our cat didn't seem afraid at all. I was like, get in here.
Yeah. Don't take any chances.
No, the cat stays in at night.
Well, on that note,
Indeed.
Cats.
Time for me to go home, y'all.
Thank you very much,
Thank
Keith.
you.
I'll here
Michael,
before Michael
everybody.
starts to
Thank you,
screech.
everyone. Thank you,
Okay.
Susan. Thank you, Jeff.
Yeah.
Thank you all.